Hi guys, in this lecture you will be learning how to return the values from the function to the main. Many programmers use this strategy to send the data from the function to the main. So here I have already created this object and this calling statement and function. This strategy used at that time when we do some calculation in the function and we want to return the value to the main. And now here I'm gonna create a variable num and give it value 20, and then another variable whose name is num1 and its value is 30, and then add both of these values into the result, and then num plus num1. So now the result is stored into this result variable. Now the sum of these two variables is stored in this variable, and now we are also able to output this sum like this. But here many programmers don't want to print out the result in the function, they only want to return the value to the main. So how to do this? First of all, we need to write return, and then we need to write the variable name. Here I'm going to write the result and then semicolon. Now this variable is returned to this main. So now here another thing, that is void. The void is the return type. When we create this function, so we don't want to return anything, so we write void. Void represent null. We don't want to return anything, so remove it. And now we want to return the data of type integer, so we need to write the integer because the data is of type integer. Here is the integer, and now the data is returned to the main, but here the data is not print on the screen. Why? Because we also need receive the data. Here in the main we need to create a variable. Here receive, you can write any name, and now the data is returned to this statement, and then the data is received in this variable whose name is receive. Now the data is stored in this variable, and we are able to print out the data. Here I'm going to write receive, and let's execute it, and here is the number 50. So now I'm going to repeat the whole process. First of all, what we need to do, we need to write the return type, the type of the data we want to return. Here is the integer, so we write integer, and then we need to write the return statement. It contains the result variable. The result variable is equal to the sum of two numbers, and then we need to receive the data from the function. Here is the calling statement. We need to create a variable and then make it equal to the calling statement, and then the value is saved in this receive variable, and then print out the variable. You can use this strategy, and you can also return the string, the char and the double. Here I'm gonna create the data of type double. Here is 0.68. Now add this, and here I'm gonna change the type of the data. Here is the double, and here is and now here we also need to change the type of data. Here I'm gonna paste it, so it receives the data of type double. Here we also need to change the type of the data we want to return. So now let's execute it, and here the data is printed out. And you can also return the string and many other type of data. And now here I am gonna create the data members, so I return the data members. How to return the data members? Here I'm going to create the name and then give the value here in the main p1 dot name and give it value Fahad. And now here I'm gonna create another function. Here I'm gonna write its name. Get name is the name of the function and its return type is the string because we want to return the string. And then here is the brackets, and now here I'm gonna call this function. Here write the p1 dot get name. Here is the get name and then the colon. So now when we call this function with the object p1, so it return the data member of the p1 object. Here is the return name, so it return this value. Now let's check it. Here I'm gonna save this value in the variable of type string. Here is the equal, and then I'm gonna print the string here, write the txt. So now let's execute it, and here you see that the Fahad is print on the screen. So now I'm gonna repeat the process. I'm gonna explain the process again. First of all, we need to declare the data member, and then we need to write the function to return it. Its return type is string because the data is of type string. Then I'm gonna return the name. First of all, we need to call the function with the p1 object. When we call the function with the p1 object, it returns the name data member that is in the p1 object. We receive the name in the txt variable and then print it out on the screen. So this is the way we return the value. If you have any problem, so kindly add the discussion on Udemy. I will help you as much as I can. Thank you for watching this video.